It looks like Mike Evans is finally back for Tampa Bay. They could have used him recently, a couple close losses against the Chiefs, against the Niners, but they might get a shot to have him return against the Giants. This one opened at 3 with the Tommy DeVito news. Now with the Evans news, we're seeing a lot of 6s floating around. I got Tampa laying 5.5. What do you like in this game?
Yeah, I like Tampa. Even at the 6, I think I'd still lay it there. Let's take a look at what Tommy DeVito is. There's the idea of Tommy DeVito, and then there's the actual practice. Last year, he only threw over 200 yards one time. I think he protected the ball pretty well, only 3 interceptions last year. But it wasn't a potent offense, 6.2 yards per attempt. I really do think that they're going to struggle to move the ball again. They won't be able to exploit a pretty weak Bucs secondary. That is going to get a little stronger. They got some players coming back, too. As you alluded to on the offensive side, Mike Evans is coming back. Cade Otton's still going to get his. You might get a nice lower number on his pick because of Mike Evans returning, but I still think there's enough for both Evans and Otton to go around. And I also like a little Rachaad White in this game, too, against this Giants defense that struggles against running backs, especially like the receiving yards picks for Rachaad White in this game.
And I think that's a really intriguing play because one thing the Giants do well on defense is they get to the backfield. They get to the quarterback. They're, I believe, number 1 in sack rate in the entire league. So if they're getting in Baker's face, well, what's he going to do? He's going to look to dump it off, get rid of it quickly, and then Rachaad White, one of the best pass-catching backs in the league, he actually might be able to feast on the Giants in this one. So I like that play right there a lot. Talk a little fantasy football to me here, Jeff. I know that Mike Evans is a guy you're considering first game back. Some people might want to leave him on the bench and see what he does here. But what's the argument for or against Mike Evans, whichever direction you're leaning in fantasy this week with all those bye weeks especially?
Well, he's on schedule. At the time he got hurt, they said he'd come back after the bye. Here we are, coming back after the bye. He's there. He's practicing. He was on the practice field Monday. We're losing so many wide receivers, either by injury or by bye week this week.
Jeff, a team that has no shortage of wide receivers would be the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, I think whoever you think's going to win, you just take that side, and it's hovering on each side of the line, and that's one of the things. I don't think there's a uniform opinion on this game, even at the book. I've seen it, both sides favored within a point to a point and a half in either side there. So I like the Arizona side. I get some people are in prove it to me mode with both Kyler and with the Arizona defense. I get that, and I can appreciate that. I'm that way with Geno Smith. Every week he has an improbable, horrible fumble. He gets stepped on by his offensive line, it seems like, on the regular. Great drive. Awesome drive to beat the Niners last week. It was incredibly aided by Nick Bosa's absence on that last drive. I just think Arizona coming in healthy after the bye week this week, the sneaky team to kind of build off of what they've done so far. I just love what they're doing offensively this year. I think Kyler's turned a page.
All right, and these teams also have a couple of meetings coming up. 2, yep. I believe, out of the next 3 weeks. Is there a home dog that sort of speaks to you this week? Is there a home dog that you're looking at and you're like, okay, that's the spot for me?
I haven't found one like I want to pound the table. I got to get this one here. In fact, we do a thing called staff picks at RotoWire where we have to pick every game against the spread. And I found myself taking a lot of these road favorites. I'm like, oh man, I'm the total square here. But you got to remember, pick each game on its merits. Don't think of it in conjunction with others. If you happen to be on 5 road favorites, so be it. I try to remember that. But I would say the home dog that I like the best is the Chargers on Monday night.
Talk to me about that game because I'm on Baltimore there actually.
Okay, good. And the thing is, I get the case for the Chargers is Justin Herbert has turned a new level. That this is just a different quarterback that we've seen before, and that he's going to be able to put points on this Ravens secondary. I really hope it does live up to its billing as a shootout that the total implies at 51. I really think that we've got that potential. I understand that Baltimore is a solid team. They're well coached. I just think there's some little cracks in the armor there. The best Baltimore teams don't lose games like they did against Pittsburgh last week. They don't lose like the Raiders game earlier in the season.
Yep.
And I think the Chargers are playing at a level there that they should be able to handle it. The fact is they don't have to travel. They get the extra day. They get 2 primetime games in a row. I mean, I hope it lives up to the last week's Sunday night game against the Bengals if it was on that same sort of level, because Oh my gosh, that was so fun. Just watching the way Herbert was playing.
Yeah, it was a crazy second half. It was a fun game. Hopefully it's a little more exciting than the Sunday night game between these two last year. I believe it was Thanksgiving weekend. The Ravens went into SoFi, came out with a 20-10 win in a pretty boring game. Hopefully this one's a little more exciting as we get the Harbaugh Bowl here. Jeff, really appreciate the time, man. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Take care, Jeff.